Peace be upon you, my friend. I am Sheikh Yusuf, the Life Strategist, and today we are going to discuss the one area of your life that you likely treat with the most negligence. Yet it is the very foundation of your financial survival, the sanctuary of your home. Most of you believe that your home is simply a place to sleep, a place to eat, and a place to store your possessions. You think that as long as you are working hard in the marketplace, it doesn't matter who you let sit on your couch or walk through your doors. You are wrong. Your home is not just a building, it is a spiritual and psychological capacitor. It is a vessel designed to hold the frequency of sustained provision. If that vessel is cracked by the wrong presence, if it is polluted by the energy of individuals who vibrate at the frequency of failure, no amount of strategy in the outside world will save you. For over 50 years, I have studied the ancient teachings, the timeless wisdom that governed the elite merchants who ran the great caravans of the East. These men understood a law that the modern world has forgotten, the law of the sanctuary. They knew that when a man enters his home, he is entering a space of recalibration. If that space is compromised, his judgment is compromised. If his judgment is compromised, his wealth is marked for destruction. Today, I am going to identify the 3 specific categories of people that you must never, under any circumstances, allow into your private sanctuary. These are people who carry what I call behavioral leakage. They are carriers of poverty, even if they have money in their pockets. If you allow them into your space, you are allowing them to rewrite the blueprint of your destiny. This is not about being unkind, it is about being a strategist. You would not allow a man with a torch to walk through a field of dry grain. Why then do you allow men with scorched souls to walk through your home? Let us begin with the first category of person, the most subtle and dangerous drain on your provision. The professional victim. You know this person, they always have a story of why they are being held back. It is always the economy, the government, their parents, or their bad luck. They speak the language of scarcity as if it were a divine decree. In the ancient teachings, we learn that complaining is a biological tax that you pay with your own life force. When a professional victim enters your sanctuary, they are not just looking for a chair, they are looking for a place to deposit their heavy energy. They want to unload their burdens onto you. But listen to me closely, frequency is contagious. We have what modern science calls mirror neurons, but the ancient wise men called it behavioral transfer. When you sit across from a person who radiates the frequency of I cannot, your own subconscious begins to mirror that vibration. You start to see the world through their lens of limitation. Your sanctuary, which should be a place of I will, and it is done, becomes polluted with the fog of it's too hard. I have watched powerful men of great potential, slowly lose their edge because they allowed a childhood friend who turned into a professional victim to spend every weekend in their living room. Within 6 months, that powerful man stopped taking risks. He started complaining about his employees. He started seeing obstacles instead of miracles. His sanctuary was no longer a place of power. It was a museum of excuses. You must protect your environment. If someone is not actively building, they are actively decaying. There is no middle ground in the realm of provision. If you invite decay into your house, do not be surprised when your bank account begins to rot. The second category of person you must bar from your sanctuary is the agent of chaos. This is the individual who has no order in their own life. Their finances are a mess. Their relationships are a storm. And they have no respect for time or boundaries. They arrive at your house unannounced. They stay past the hour of rest. They disrupt your rituals. You might think they are just free-spirited or fun, but in the architecture of wealth, chaos is the enemy of increase. Heaven only funds structure. Provision flows through a pipe. It does not flow through a sieve. When an agent of chaos enters your home, they are breaking the ordered frequency of your life. They leave a trail of small destructions, disordered thoughts, interrupted focus, and a general sense of to-do that is never done. A life strategist knows that the first hour of the day and the last hour of the day are the most critical for wealth multiplication. If an agent of chaos is in your house, they will steal those hours from you. They will keep you up talking about nonsense while the morning command is slipping away. They will make you forget your discipline. I knew a merchant once who had a cousin who was a true agent of chaos. This cousin would come and go as he pleased, bringing with him the energy of a man who never finished anything he started. My friend, The merchant was a man of great order, but he felt he owed it to his family to keep the door open. I told him, "You are sacrificing your legacy for a false sense of obligation. This man is a leak in your vault." He didn't listen until a major business deal fell through, because he missed a 6 a.m. call. He had stayed up until 2 a.m., listening to his cousin's chaotic drama. The agent of chaos will always make you pay for their lack of order. The third category is the most dangerous because they often come with a smile and a gift. I call this person the envious observer, the one who carries the law of the evil eye in their very gaze. This is the person who comes into your house not to celebrate your success, but to audit it. They look at your furniture, they look at your children, they look at the food on your table, and they are silently calculating, why does he have this? I am just as smart as he is. It isn't fair. This individual is a transmitter of restrictive energy. As we discussed in our previous session, the act of observing something with envy changes the frequency of the blessing. When you let an envious observer into your Holy of Holies, you are giving them a front row seat to your pregnancy, the embryos of your future plans. They will ask innocent questions designed to plant seeds of doubt. Are you sure you should have spent that much on this house? I heard the market is going to crash soon. This is not concern, this is a spiritual strike. They are trying to lower your frequency to match their own sense of lack. Thaldi, the ancient elite, never invited anyone into their homes who had not already proven their own discipline. They understood that a guest's gaze can either be a blessing of amplification or a curse of restriction. If you are not 100% certain that a person truly desires your increase as much as their own, they do not belong in your sanctuary. They can meet you in the marketplace. They can meet you in a public square. But they do not get to sit at the sovereign table where your biological and financial capital is recalibrated. You must treat your home like a high-security laboratory where the most valuable experiment on earth is taking place, the construction of your legacy. Most people treat their homes like a bus station. Everyone is allowed through, and they wonder why they feel exhausted and scattered. I want you to look at your current circle. Who has been in your house in the last 30 days? Did they leave you feeling energized, clear and focused? Or did they leave a film of heaviness, doubt, or chaos behind them? If it is the latter, you have a leak. You must perform an environmental purge. I am not telling you to be a hermit. I am telling you to be a gatekeeper. In the ancient trade cities, the gates were closed at sunset for a reason. They were protecting the wealth inside from the scavengers outside. You must have a sunset for your social circle. There are people who are marketplace friends, good for business, good for networking, but not for the sanctuary. There are people who are public friends, good for a meal in a restaurant, but not for the sanctuary. And then there are the sanctuary few, the individuals who vibrate at your frequency or higher, who respect your order and who celebrate your provision. These are the only ones allowed past the curtain. Let us explore the psychology of the threshold. When you open your door to a person, you are performing a ritual of permission. You are telling the infinite, I accept the energy this person carries. If that person is a gossip, you are accepting the energy of betrayal. If that person is a sluggard, you are accepting the energy of stagnation. This is why the wise men of old were so careful about who they broke bread with. They knew that the act of eating together is a covenant of frequency. You are literally merging your biological capital with theirs. If their capital is built on a foundation of debt and drama, you are taking a loan of their failure. I have seen empires crumble because the leader surrounded himself at home with people who were yes men but carried the spirit of the professional victim. They flattered him during the day and drained him at night. He lost his stoicism. He lost his ability to hear the warning signs of the marketplace. He became like the people he led into his sanctuary. This is the law of assimilation. You eventually become the average of the 5 people who have the most access to your private thoughts. If those 5 people are allowed into your home, they have 100% access to your subconscious. Protect the gate. To expand this further into the realm of total dominance, let us speak of the sovereign table. In the ancient teachings, the table where you eat is compared to an altar. It is a place of high sanctity. When you invite a person to sit at your table, you are inviting them into your inner circle of provision. If that person is an envious observer, they are looking at the food on your plate and the peace in your house with a silent audit. Their gaze creates a restriction on your flow. You will find that after they leave, you have an argument with your wife. You will find that you lose a client the next morning. You will find that you feel a sudden unexplained wave of doubt. This is not a coincidence. It is the shadow of the eye that they left in your room. You must cleanse your sanctuary. If you have already let these people in, you must perform a frequency reset. Open the windows, clean the floors, and most importantly, change the locks on your social permissions. You do not owe anyone access to your life just because you share a bloodline or a history. You owe it to your destiny to remain in a state of high order. If a person cannot respect the sanctuary of the life strategist, they do not belong in the life of the life strategist. I have sat with men who are worth billions, and I noticed something very specific about their homes. They were incredibly quiet. There was no background noise of chaotic people. There were no hangers-on. Every person in that house had a purpose and a high order frequency. This is how they maintain their wealth. They don't just manage their money, they manage their environment with the precision of a jeweler. They know that one chaotic person can disrupt the focus of the entire household. And focus is the primary engine of wealth. If you are constantly putting out fires created by the people you let into your life, you are wasting the energy that should be used to build your fortress. Stop being a firefighter for other people's self-inflicted chaos. Let them burn if they refuse to change, but do not let them bring the smoke into your sanctuary. We must also discuss the law of the guest and the host. In the ancient tradition, being a host is a great honor, but the guest has a responsibility to bring barakah, sustained provision to the house. If a guest does not bring peace, if they do not bring respect, and if they do not bring an uplifting spirit, they have violated the law of the guest. You have no obligation to a lawbreaker. You must be firm. I have had to tell people, I value our relationship in the marketplace, but my home is a place of silence and order. I cannot host you here at this time. It is better to have a short, uncomfortable conversation than a long, painful bankruptcy. Your children are also watching. They are learning who to trust and how to set boundaries by watching who you allow into their safe space. If you allow professional victims into your home, you are teaching your children that the language of excuses is acceptable. If you allow agents of chaos into your home, you are teaching your children that disorder is normal. You are the architect of their future environment. Build a fortress of discipline, not a playground for the undisciplined. Let us reinforce the sanctuary protocol. For the next 30 days, I want you to observe a sealed gate policy. No new visitors. No one who falls into those three categories is allowed past the front door. If you must see them, meet them in a neutral, public place. Keep your home for your family, your work, and your connection to the source. You will notice that the atmosphere of increase begins to return. You will find that the air in your house feels lighter. Your sleep will be deeper. Your ideas will be sharper. This is because you have stopped the leakage. You are finally allowing the frequency of sustained provision to settle on your house without being disrupted. Many of you are working 18 hours a day, but because your home environment is polluted by the wrong people, you are only operating at 40% efficiency. You are fighting an uphill battle against the environmental pressure of your own social circle. When you clear the sanctuary, you are finally running on a flat, open road. You will achieve in 4 hours what used to take you 12. This is the hidden multiplication hack of the elite. They don't just work harder. They live in a state of higher order. I want you to go into the comments right now and write these words. I protect my sanctuary. By writing that, you are making a commitment to your own financial and biological architecture. You are telling the world and your own ego that your destiny is more important than your desire to be liked by the wrong people. Subscribe to this channel, because next week I'm going to teach you the protocol of the inner vault, the specific way you must manage your private information so that no one can use it to sabotage your growth. Do not be like the masses who let every scavenger and stray into their most sacred space. Be a strategist. Guard your threshold with the vigilance of a king. If a person does not bring order, they do not bring value. If they do not bring value, they do not belong in your vessel. Your soul is the blueprint, and your life is the construction. I have seen families lose everything because the father was too kind to say no to a chaotic relative. I have seen businesses fail because the CEO let a professional victim become his closest confidant. Do not let this be your story. The path to the top is narrow. You cannot carry the weight of other people's failure up the mountain. Release the weight. Seal the sanctuary. The source is ready to provide, but the provision needs a clean place to land. Make your home that place. Peace be upon you, my friend, and may your sanctuary be a fortress of light, order, and overwhelming abundance. This is Sheikh Yusuf, the Life Strategist. We are building a legacy, and the first brick is the one you place at your own front door. Stand your guard. Now, to ensure that we have fully explored the depth of this law, let us discuss the law of association and the bloodline. In the ancient teachings, we are taught that a man is known by the company he keeps, but a man is built by the company he hosts. Hosting a person is an act of spiritual consumption. You are consuming their thoughts, their energy, and their presence. If you host a man who is an envious observer, you are consuming the poison of jealousy. This poison acts slowly. It starts as a small doubt. Then it becomes a hesitation. Then it becomes a failure to act. The life strategist knows that his mind is his most valuable asset. Anything that clouds the mind is a financial loss. I have watched men who were once sharp and decisive become hesitant and weak-willed. When I investigated their lives, I found the same thing every time: a leaky home. They had allowed the wrong frequency to stay too long. They had hosted their own destruction. You must be ruthless with your environment. If you want to be a lion, do not host sheep. If you want to be a king, do not host beggars of spirit. This is not about wealth in the bank. It is about wealth in the soul. A man can be poor in money but rich in discipline. That man is a king in waiting. He is a good guest. But a man who is rich in money and poor in discipline is a beggar who found a purse. He is a dangerous guest. He will bring his lack of discipline into your house and infect your systems. Choose your guests by their character, not their bank account, but never forget the three forbidden categories: the professional victim, the agent of chaos, and the envious observer. They are the three pillars of poverty. If they are in your house is a temple of lack. Tear down the pillars. Rebuild your sanctuary on the foundation of order, silence, and sustained provision. The infinite is a God of order. He created the stars in their courses and the seasons in their turn. If you want the infinite to provide for you, you must imitate his order. Start at your own threshold. Clean the guest list as you clean your soul. The work of the strategist is never done, but it is always rewarded. Your bank account will reflect the peace of your home. Your business will reflect the order of your sanctuary. Your life will reflect the clarity of your gatekeeping. Go forth and be the master of your own domain. No one has the right to your peace unless you grant it. Grant it only to those who help you build the fortress. Peace be upon you, and may your path be one of absolute clarity and victory. Sheikh Yusuf, signing off. Do not forget, the silence of a clean house is where the most powerful ideas are born. If you want to hear the voice of wisdom, you must first quiet the noise of the chaotic guest. Seal the gate. Now,